Have you ever received a handmade gift? You know, that warm, fuzzy feeling just because somebody took the time to make something just for you? There's a little piece of love in every handmade item. So in this video, we're making a pretty little copper envelope pendant. It's quick and it's easy and perfect as a heartfelt gift or a fun project with the youngsters. So let's get started. Hi, Alison here. All right, this is what we're going to be making today. A little envelope pendant. I'm going to show you both variations. Okay, you'll see the one is a flatter version. This is more three-dimensional. And this one, I've used the thicker copper. The wall thickness here is 1 millimeter. And on the flatter version, I've used zero point 0.5 millimeters. It's salvaged copper from old plumbing. Pretty, they're rustic. You don't have to technique them whatsoever. You could leave them polished and shiny. And just as good. That choice is up to you. I'm just going to show you the basics. We're going to be doing a little bit of drilling and riveting. So you'll need a drill or a multi-tool. If you don't have that, I will show you a method of using a punch. Just have a piece of wood and you can get past that one as well. So pretty easy to make, and let's get on to it. Oh, this is not leather, unfortunately. I wanted leather. I ordered some online and this hard, funny plastic kind of stuff arrived. So we're using wax thread. It's good enough. We're going to just do a simple knot. I'll show you how to do that. When I get my leather, we'll do proper clasps. Right, so we've got a punch. Let me run through the material quickly. Usual sandpaper, polishing pads, needle files. You're going to need round nose pliers because we need to make some jumper rings. Flash cutters, if you don't have flash cutters, side cutters will do just well. A pair of pliers, nice flat pliers that aren't going to scar the copper would be good. That's just to do all the bending and that. Tin snips, we're going to cut through here with tin snips. If you've got copper sheeting, obviously that'll do. If you're cutting through a pipe, you'll need something to cut through a pipe. I just used that. Nice little hammer and anvil. Onto the templates. Let's get those out of the way. All right, I've got two templates here. They are 30 millimeters by 30 millimeters. That's quite small. This one's got more cutaways. Because of the thicker copper, it's more difficult. It's a little bit awkward when you get to the corners. So I've cut away a little bit of copper so it's not too thick. And then just quite a straightforward one for that. Right, I've annealed this copper. I just cleaned the outside. The inside's still got to be clean. We're going to do the thicker one last. Concentrate on this one at this stage. You could use a Koki if you like. Okay, then we just cut through that. Okay, I've cleaned the back side up. So all you're going to do is take your file and just get rid of any ridge or sharpness. With the thinner stuff, even when it's made up, you've got to be very careful with the finishing off, so you've got a nice smooth effect. Because it's so thin, it's difficult to uh, get that sharpness away. So just to give you an idea, this is going to be the bottom of our envelope. So that's going to fold up. These two are going to be the sides. So we fold the sides in first, then the bottom up, and then this top we're going to round off slightly and neaten. So the edges you've got to concentrate on are, you don't have to worry about those two ends finishing them off too nicely. This end, you must finish it off really, really nicely. So that one and that one. The others are going to be covered up. The filing is quite important before the folding, because obviously once you've folded it, it gets a bit awkward to finish that, get that nice and smooth and the sharpness away. And then finally you might just want to check those must run on the same line, and you might just want to touch them up because these get quite awkward in small spaces. So just to get our fold right, make sure they're nice and even. Choose the side you want to face outside first of all. It looks like this is going to be the inside. So all you're going to do is put your pliers just a little bit under that line and slowly bend it. So your line is nice and straight. A little bit and just give it a bit of a hammering. We won't hammer it completely flat yet, because if we're going to be doing texture, we want it to be able to dent nicely. If you're going to be denting a flat surface, it's not going to be as obvious. Okay, for the bottom, keep a little bit of a gap over there and start your line, your bend. Okay, turn it around and just make sure your line is nice and straight. Okay, let's cut a little letter. And you can decide if you want your letter to either go straight or be at a sort of an angle. So this little letter's got to fit in here far enough so you can catch it when you hammer it now. Okay, we're going to start texturing it then. Catch the little letter. Okay, and then you can just randomly texture it. Okay, now the filing and the finishing off starts. You can file these ends with your bigger file or a needle file or a multi-tool, whatever you got. Get onto your sandpaper. This is 6, I'm going on to 600. I'll do the 220 first. Okay, so that's what you're going to do. Carry on finishing and finish it off nicely so there are no sharp ends. And as I said, 220 onto 600. We won't, yeah, and onto the polisher. Okay, I rounded those off quite nicely. Didn't leave them completely square. And I think it's ready. Let me show you how to punch that hole quickly with it. Get a hole in there without a drill. Get your center. Okay, all you do is you take a little file and the back that it's pushed the back out like that. All you do is you file that out, file it off now. You don't file too much off because what you're going to do now is you're going to reverse it. You you knocked that side, so now you're going to knock the other side, the side that you filed. Just going to give it a little whack. You're going to come in with your little hammer and flatten it because it dents in there a little bit. Flatten it. Okay, there we are. You've got a little hole punched. Okay, so we're going to just give this a little bit of a heat. I just want some darker areas and give it a nice sort of antique look. We want the silver, and we don't want fire scale, so we mustn't go beyond the silver. Soft climb. We let that cool. We're just going to buff the raised areas with the polisher. So what you can do just to polish that up, and you give it a squirt of silicone spray. I like to do that. The silicone will repel any dust from getting in the little hooks and crannies too, and it'll give it a nice little sheen. All right, so let's make a little jump ring for that. I've just got a little salvaged piece of copper wire. It's probably about a 16 gauge. And then if there's any sharp ends or anything, just get a needle file or piece of sandpaper and file it off. Just thread it. And you're going to measure the circumference of the head and then just add on a little bit for your knots. About there. Pinch that. And then just wrap this thread around the little tube 3 times. Nip it there. Insert it, pull your tube out, and then just tension it. Give it a little roll between your fingers. That's nice and even. And there's your slip knot. Then on the ends, just do a little overhand knot on each side. Okay, nip it off to size if you like. Make it, a nice fit. I haven't measured this too well now. There's another method. You can just do a slip knot on either side like that, and you've got the same effect. Just grab those 2 little ends when you want to tension it and give it a little tug. Okay, so that is our first little piece. I'm going to carry on with the thicker one now. I'm going to speed up the video because most of the steps are very, very similar. I'll just slow it down when I Need to show you something that differs. At this stage, it won't budge any further. It needs a little bit of heat treatment. Just give it a burst of heat here. Do the trick. Clean it up again. Okay, nice and soft. these little angles and that are quite awkward because if you push one down a little bit too far, your whole angle is out. So here you've got to decide if you just want a nice clean cut effect without any techniquing. So we're going to punch a hole for a rivet. Where the rivet, I can't make too low. It should look sort of like a wax seal, but I don't want to drill a hole on that join there. So it's going to be a little bit higher up, and then we're going to drill a little hole there for our jump ring. I'm just going to polish this one up really, really nicely. So that smoother effect in those in the corners and around here are going to give a different effect. And then the back I'm going to leave polished and clean. We're just going to drill our holes quickly before the sanding and all that gets done. Okay, little needle file. Touch up those burrs. Okay, I've got a little piece of scrap copper wire here. It's actually 2 millimeters, and I've just filed a little bit of the end away just to give a smaller diameter so we can slot it in there now. I just want a little bit to stick out the back because I'm going to file it flush, and then we're just going to nip it off. You don't want too much, it just depends how big you want your rivet head. I'm putting the back straight on the metal. Okay, you don't want to hit it away so it's got no effect. I'm pretty happy with that. File it a little bit and it'll be good. Polished and shiny. So we didn't give a heat technique whatsoever. We just had the hammered technique on this round in comparison to that one. With that was given a heat technique as well as a hammered technique. It's totally up to you how you want to finish it off. Thanks so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this project, Be sure to like and subscribe because there's a whole series of quick and easy pendant tutorials coming your way. And it's also a great way to support the channel. Handmade gifts are always special, and sharing them makes them even better. See you in the next video.